Happy Sunday, everyone. Today on the menu, I'll be making pot roast. Let's go.
Today's menu, we're having pot roast, and these are ingredients that I'm using on today. As you can see, I have my pot roast here, already washed, dried, and ready for seasoning. I have my olive oil, I have my onion powder, my garlic powder, my black pepper, I have my kosher salt, I have Creole seasoning. I also have some adobe seasoning that I will be using, thyme, rosemary, and basil leaves. Now, it's always best if you can use the fresh rosemary and basil leaves. I didn't have any today, so I'm just going to use the ones that I have in the container. So let's go. Hello, everyone. It's Sunday morning. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take my pot roast out. I have it. I've washed it. I've dried it. I have my olive oil on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to season it. Season it with all the great seasoning, and then I'm going to place it in the refrigerator for a few hours, and then I'll come back and we'll start preparing it. Okay, so now that I've seasoned it, I'm going to stick it in the refrigerator for a few hours. Go ahead and let all that seasoning sink in there, and then when we come back a few hours, we'll go ahead and start preparing it. Okay, let's get started. As you can see, I have all of my veggies diced up and cut and ready and prepared. I have red pepper, green peppers, red onions, regular white onions, sweet onions, white potatoes, and I also have carrots. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take some olive oil. You can see I have my olive oil here. I'm going to be pouring some on top of my vegetables. That's what I'm going to be doing first. Okay. Now I have that set. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to season it. I have my black pepper. I have onion powder. I have my kosher salt. Garlic powder. And of course, I have my Creole seasoning. I'm going to add that in here. So now that I've added all of the seasoning, I have my spoon, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work the seasoning inside, just to make sure all my veggies get a touch of that seasoning. And these are the veggies and what I use. Of course, you can add whatever you choose to when you make yours, but this is just what I have, and this is what it looks like after I've already seasoned and diced it up. So I have my pot roast here. As I said earlier in the earlier part of my video, I prepared this early this morning. What I did, I seasoned it, I put it in the refrigerator just so that seasoning can stick inside. So if you touch back earlier in my video, you'll see me preparing that. So now that I have it seasoned, I'm going to take it over to the stove and I'm going to sear it on both sides and go from there. Let's go. Okay, I'm over here by the stove. So what I will do now, I'm going to turn my my stove on to get prepared to sear my pot roast. And I'm going to give it a few minutes just to let the pan get hot, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so my pan is hot enough. So now I'm going to get started. I have my olive oil here. I'm just going to put maybe about 2 tablespoons in here. 1 to 2 tablespoons in here. And I also have some butter. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of butter inside also. I'm just going to let that melt in there. Okay, now that I have my butter and my olive oil in here, I'm going to go ahead and add my pot roast. Let me rub it up in here so I can get some of that extra seasoning in here. Make sure I get it all on there. And I will add it in the pan. I'm going to turn it down a little bit here. You don't want it to burn. Really, we're just trying to get that nice color before adding it in my roast pan here. So I'm just going to let it stare for a few minutes, and then we'll come right back. So you don't want to flip it too soon. So like I said, I'm going to just let it sit here and sear and get that nice coated brown color on each side. I'm going to let it coat on that on the side it's on first, and then I'll flip it. But you don't want to rush it. Just let it take its time and just sear. Okay, so let's take a piece under here and just take a look at it and see what it looks like. It's getting there. Just a few more minutes, and then I'll flip it. Okay, I think it's about that time. We can go ahead and flip. Go ahead and turn it. So we're going to let it sear on this side for a few minutes. And I may flip it again just to give it a little bit, dark color. Flip it back again, and we'll go from there. Okay, so it looks as though it's seared on both sides pretty good. I like the way it looks. So I'm just going to give it a few more minutes, a couple more seconds, and then I'll go ahead and start adding it in my roast pan here. Be right back. Okay, so I have my roaster pan here prepared and ready. So now what I'm going to do next, I still have my roast in here searing, just get a little bit more color in here. But remember earlier I did my vegetables, sear the vegetables here. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add my veggies inside of my roast pan. Add my veggies inside. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my roast. I'm going to take my roast. I think it's pretty good on the side. And I'm going to take it What I'm going to do is I'm going to add it beside my pot. Okay. So now we're going to get prepared to make our gravy. Okay, so now let's get started with our gravy. Okay, I'm going to use the very same pan that I used earlier to sear the chicken. Excuse me, just to sear my pot roast. Turn this down just a little bit. And I'm just going to add some flour in here. We're making the gravy from scratch, guys. This pan is really, really hot right now, so make sure you turn it down once it's done. You don't want it to burn. And you want to keep stirring and stirring whenever you're making gravy, because you don't want it to stop. You don't want it to get stuck, and you don't want to stop because it will burn. But you do want it to be nice and brown. Okay, so I added a little bit of chicken broth in here, a little beef broth inside. I'm so used to making chicken. I've added the beef broth. What I'm going to do, I add a little bit of this browning sauce, and I'm going to add a little bit to the bottom of it. It's coming together. It is coming together. Let's add a little bit more of this browning sauce, this beef broth. Doesn't that look good, guys? It's coming together. Okay, I have a little bit of water I'm going to add with this. Add some extra onion inside our gravy mix. I'm going to let that simmer for a little bit. And we're also going to add some seasoning. I have some nature seasoning I'm going to add in here. I'm going to add a little bit of accent. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. A little bit of the adobe seasoning. Adobe seasoning, Italian. A little bit of black pepper. Onion powder. And, well, that was garlic powder. This is the onion powder. Onion powder. So we're going to let that simmer, and once it simmers, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it in my pan. Looking good, guys. It's looking good. All right, so let's just take it over here, and let's start pouring it inside our pan. Okay, so I have some Better Beyond veggie base, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a little bit of that inside my hot roast, just to give it that extra flavor. All right, so now this is what it looks like right now. I'm going to turn my pot on to 375. I'm going to let it cook for about 3 hours, and we'll be back. Okay, so it's finally done, and this is the final results. My homemade pot roast. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Well, speaking of the #1 NBA draft pick, he's received